Welcome to I'm Right, You're Wrong. So fuck off. We're gonna go full name here. Just trying to be Mr. Nice Guy. Instead of toning it down a little. Try to win friends by being Mr. Nice Guy. Well, you know, being Mr. Nice Guy ain't all it's cracked up to be. So I do this show, you know. I don't care. I don't care who listens to this show. I've always done this show because I do it for me, so I can vent, and so I can get, you know, some of the things that I believe to be the truth out there. So I do it because I enjoy talking about this kind of thing, because that's what's going on in the world, and some of it's, you know, some of it's alarming. So I do it for me, and I also know that, you know, I've said it before, when I would go see someone like George Carlin back in the day, I mean, I would be like, yeah, exactly. The things he was saying about the government and big corporations, like, exactly. It's like nobody else is saying this shit. And I would eat it up because I believed what he believed. And I know, you know, so I do this show because I enjoy it. So I do it for me. And I do it for a group of people who believe pretty much what I believe. And basically, it's people who aren't fucking morons. See, so I'm not going to be nice today. Everybody can fuck off. I do it for people who aren't morons. So, you know, if you're a moron, you can tune out right now. If you don't like I'm Right, You're Wrong, so fuck off, you can tune out. You don't have to watch this. You don't have to be told that the things you believe are completely wrong and that you don't use your mind and you don't know how to critically think and you're gullible and you believe anything a talking head on the media says to you. I'm not going to change your mind about anything. I mean, if Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow said it, well, it's the gospel, because they obviously are good people who don't do anything other than tell the truth. And if you believe that, you're really stupid. You're really stupid. Because I was in media for 20 plus years. I was in media. And this is just on basically the local level. And you were told in no uncertain terms what you can say about certain things. This is small potatoes. This is just a local level. They're like, don't talk about McDonald's. They're our number one advertiser. You can talk about Donald's, but you better be telling everybody how fucking great they are. I don't care if you got a rat in your cheeseburger. You're not fucking talking about McDonald's. And don't say a word about Walt Disney World. Because we go every year. They give us a free fucking trip, and we broadcast there, and we get an all expense paid to Disney World. So don't you ever say anything bad about Disney World. So that's how it is about little shit like that. Little tiny free trips to Disney World. Lie, or you're fired. Free trips to Disney World. Lie, or you're fired. So don't tell me that anybody on the air is telling the truth. Like Tucker Carlson, you know, I know I'm an acquaintance. I don't know him. I'm an acquaintance. I've talked to him on the phone, you know, for ages on the other show. And he came into the studio. I met him. Seems like a good guy. He says a lot of the things that I say, you know, regarding war and big farm. I don't know if he's telling the truth. You know, I kind of believe it because it's what I believe. Anybody who doesn't believe what I believe, I'll listen to it, but I'll fucking fact check it. You have to fact check everything, because it's a new world. It's a new world. I think I could give you a million examples. Let's just take the Hunter Biden deal. Let's take the Hunter Biden deal. I don't care about Hunter Biden's laptop. I don't care about Hunter Biden's laptop. I don't care that, you know, he was using his dad's status to, you know, kind of travel the world like a rock star and smoke crack cocaine and have sex with Russian prostitutes and put stuff. I think he was doing amateur porn. He's putting stuff on social media about weighing crack rocks and stuff. The guy was he was being a rock star. I'm sure he was getting probably Secret Service protection too. I don't care. A lot of people would do that. A lot of the people, if your dad was vice president and president, what are you gonna do? You're fairly young. Your dad's the president. Your dad's the vice president. Your dad's been a senator for 40-something years. You're untouchable. You're untouchable. Your dad never worked a day in his life. You probably never did either. You don't understand how the real world works. You just know that you throw your name around and you get whatever you want. I don't excuse me, I don't blame Hunter Biden for that, and I'm not mad about that. I imagine, that's how a lot of people would be. I don't know how I'd act if I was the president's son. I might be trying to get away with some shit too. Doesn't bother me really in the least that he's got a laptop with all this shit on it. Doesn't, that's what they do. What bothers me is the media fucking lied about it. 100% didn't investigate it at all. The FBI's had the laptop for like 2 years. The media lied about it. So that's what bothers me, and that's what should bother you. I don't give a shit about Hunter Biden's laptop. I don't give a shit Hunter Biden was smoking crack, banging Russian prostitutes. I don't give a fuck. It wouldn't affect how I viewed, how his father was doing as president or not. I don't think, sometimes you got a kid, it's wild, man. I can't imagine if I was president and Trace, was my son, and he could get carte blanche everywhere he went. His life would be a nonstop party. He'd be Johnny Manziel. So, I'm not really blaming Hunter. That's kind of how he was raised. He was raised by a guy who got everything for free. And then he got everything for free for doing nothing. And that's how Hunter Biden is, and I don't really care. And that's how you should be. But if you're on the left, you should care that it's 100% true. That's been proven. And everyone that you believe in fucking lied about it. Fucking lied through their teeth. It's 50-50. So why doesn't this disturb you? That's why I'm not going to convince anybody, but I sure you'll never convince me about certain things that are so obvious. The laptop. Okay, so these 50 high-ranking government CIA agents and FBI intelligence agents like that, they all said the Hunter Biden laptop was fake, and it was Russian election interference and propaganda. And so you got either A or fucking B. You got either A, our intelligence service is completely incompetent and full of a bunch of idiots because all 50 of them got it wrong. Well, that's not good, is it? Our intelligence is populated by complete fucking morons. How is that? Is that good? 50 guys went, yeah, well, lock it fucking in. Name on the dotted fucking line. Fake. But it wasn't. So it's either that, complete moronic idiots, or they were told to say that, and they did, because they're all a part of it. They want to keep their role on whatever news organization they go on to talk about war and shit like that. They want to keep their cushy gigs, so they do whatever the fuck they're told to do. So you got, and every single news outlet said it was false. So it doesn't bother me about Hunter Biden smoking crack, banging Russian prostitutes, putting out amateur porn, lying on gun shit. I don't care. He's the son of the president. I'm sure, there's been plenty of relatives of high-ranking politicians who go fucking hog wild using their daddy's name or their husband's name or their whatever's name, granddaddy's name. Doesn't bother me. The media 100% lied about it. When has the media ever lied in concert so badly? Well, I can think of several instances. Yeah, they have. But this is like so blatant. It's so blatant. And then you notice nobody will get into like the election interference deal. If this is true, and which that's why I'm only speaking to like intelligent people, because some people will say no, it's not true. Well, it's been proven true. It's all true. The laptop, they lied about it, and I gave you the circumstances for the 50 intelligence agencies. It's not good. They're either morons or they're lying. Well, what's going on with the U.S. intelligence agency? Well, they're all complete morons. Well, that's bad. No, they're all complete liars. Well, that's bad too. I don't think that's ever happened before. That 50 former intelligence agents and high-ranking officials came out and said something right before an election, and then it turned out to be 100% false. In a real world, I believe people would go on, well, what? I guess we've got to do that election over. Oh, that was, yeah. Oh, wow, that was a bunch of lies. Government lie. I don't know. The candidates lie all the time. I don't know if you have government agencies ever come out and lie specifically right before elections. I don't know if that's ever happened before in that grand of a scale. So what are they doing that over? Are they doing that? What happens, when, there's a proven, and I think a lot of people who don't watch this, think that's not real. Like, because if you watch, if you just watch the mainstream news today, the Hunter Biden laptop, that would have been a blurb at 11 p.m. That Hunter Biden laptop has been verified to be true. Did you see the tornado in Mississippi? That's how it would be. So those people never get that message. They still think it's fake. So how do you have a conversation with people who don't live in reality? How about you quit watching CNN, or you watch CNN and Fox, both, but mainly you get your information from trustworthy people on the internet. And those people aren't the fucking talking heads, Sean Hannity, Rachel Maddow frauds. Don't get your news from any of that shit. Find reputable people who at one time you knew or were pretty sure that they were honest and had ethics, and see what they're saying. Because not a goddamn thing that's coming out of Sean Hannity's mouth is true, and not a goddamn thing that comes out of Anderson Cooper's mouth is true. They're complete government shills. It's not even remotely believable. I already told you about, how the bosses tell you what to say when it comes to advertisers. That's what they told me. I'd get fired if I said certain things. So when your top advertiser is Pfizer, what do you think they're going to do? And it insults my intelligence that someone who has been in the media and been told by their bosses what to say about advertisers, and they act like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. If somebody's giving you tens of millions of dollars, you don't say shit about them. And you pretty much say whatever they want you to say. And that's how it fucking goes. And you insult my intelligence by disagreeing with that. Because you're fucking wrong. I'm right, you're wrong, so fuck off. 100%. That's how the world works. That's just how everything works. When you're beholden to people, you don't talk bad about them. That's not a political thing. That's life. My dad's paying my car payment. That fucking asshole. That fucking sucker paying like that. He's so stupid. My dad heard it. Oh, he cut off my car payment. It's not politics necessarily. It's how the world works. It's not. That's why I don't really, that's why I do this show. So I can feel, I'll be honest, so I can feel superior to people by putting out rational, common sense, thought out ideas that I've researched or just used my eyes and my brain. And if you can't see that, yeah, if you got an open mind, well, that's great. So I've been around people that that have changed their minds. Back in the day, nobody's changing their mind now. I've been around people who have changed their minds after being around me for a year. Been around a lot of people who are like, yeah, you know what you're saying, I get it now. But you have to be exposed to it. It's day in and day out, and get beaten into your brain that you gotta think for yourself. You gotta everything. It's an unfortunate. This isn't. I ain't got nothing to gain by this. Who am I? I'm going for the smallest audience there is, the people that get it. I don't even need to gain. So why do you? Why wouldn't? If I wanted to, why would I be lying? I have no I'm the only man in America who doesn't have a reason to lie. I mean, it'd be so much it'd be so much easier because look, I've always preached against the powerful. So whoever in charge, I was always trying to tell you how they were screwing us. But now that it's against this guy for some reason, I'm a lunatic. Well, when I was making fun of Bush, a lot of people, people weren't saying I was a lunatic, but now I'm a lunatic, and so I have nothing to gain by being a lunatic, but I'm going to keep being a lunatic because I think it's I enjoy just telling the truth and trying to find shit that most people don't know about. You gotta. It takes time to vet all the fucking lies you see out there. I mean, it's almost impossible. You can't take anything you believe from anybody on face value. You got to triple check it. And then all the triple checks will turn out to have been frauds too. So it's really difficult. I'm just telling you, there's one guy out there who's not bought and paid for. I don't know. Will I tell you? I'm bought and paid for? I guess you would notice. Would you notice? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out because here's where see I just keep saying what I'm saying, and I think if you're right wing and you're a Trump supporter, you can deal with a lot of what I'm saying because a lot of it's just it's just common sense. But then, when if I say anything about, bad about Trump, then I think I lose those people too. And, it's just partisanship. Either way, no matter who you support right at this point, you're being a partisan fool. That's just the way it is. Donald Trump. I mean, see, and Donald Trump. I don't understand. See, it's this, the left is in power. That's why it seems so bad right now. But if I was to say, well, Donald Trump took $1 million from Pfizer for his inauguration, and he was going to make Robert F. Kennedy Jr. his health dude, but I believe Pfizer wanted Fauci, and after that, Donald Trump put Fauci in, who totally screwed Trump and screwed the country during the pandemic. So that's pretty bad. That's really bad. But I think if you're a Trumper, you just go, well, everybody takes the money from the inauguration from big corporations. That's how it's done. Well, what happened to Trump being an outsider? What happened to Trump not being a politician? What happened to Trump, not taking a salary because he's so rich? How about you make a stand? How about you make a stand how about one of the first things you do as Trump is you make a stand. You're this is your inauguration, and you go, I'm not going to take the Pfizer money. I'm not going to take it. It's dirty money. I'm draining the swamp. I'm draining the swamp here. I'm draining the swamp. That's what I'm going to do. Wow. Fucking A. Fucking A. Man, did you see what Donald Trump, before the inauguration, he told Pfizer to shove it up their ass. How about them apples? I think that would have been, people would have been blown away. But no, took the money, pocketed it, put in Fauci. See? I don't think if you're Trumper, I think that argument's just like, no, it's fine that he took the Pfizer money. He can do no wrong. And that kind of makes you see, you're just not in the position of power right now. You're just not fucking everything up like the left is right now. So you know, I was a big DeSantis guy. I was thinking, this guy intrigues me. He's well read. He's intelligent. The answers, he gives are well thought out. He reads a lot. He's doing great on COVID. It's like, yeah, great on COVID. And then came the abortion thing. 6 weeks. That's not, I'm not huge about rah abortion, but yeah, 6 weeks seems a little low to me. Then the book stuff, it's like, I can see where he's coming from with some of those books, but then the Disney stuff, it's like, what's your heart on for Disney? And it kind of coincides with Disney not funding his campaign funding him anymore. You know how that works. So I don't like that. So I'm kind of jumped off the DeSantis bandwagon going, yeah, he was probably just doing the COVID stuff because that's what he needed to do to get where he was. He calculated that if he was the freedom state and he stayed open and he calculated right, and he it could have all been a setup. They wanted DeSantis to be huge. They want the DeSantis-Trump controversy. They want the Trump-Biden controversy. They're not looking for somebody to come and solve the country's problems. They're looking for somebody to perpetuate what they fucking got going on. They're not looking for solutions at all. And mark my words. You can mark a lot of my words. A lot of my words fucking come true. Mark my words. There's a possibility that people could be fed up with how shit's going, and there could be a true red wave next election, and the Republicans could take everything, and what the problem, what they're gonna, I'll whisper it, what they're gonna do, be like Joe, what they're gonna do, the same shit what you gonna do. They're going to do the same shit we're doing. They'll just do it a different way. And you'll think it's great for a while. And you'll hate the left so much, you'll go right along with them, taking all your rights and doing all that shit. What makes you think that the party of the illegal war in Iraq, the party of the bank bailouts, which was both parties, the party of that lets Biden continue the aid to the Ukraine, that's Republicans. What makes you think they're going to fucking change anything? Now, here's my rationale. I may vote Republican in the next election. I haven't voted for 20 years because I don't like how it's going now. My life's getting affected by this shit. That's all I know. My life is being affected by the cost of living, by the censorship. This is what I do for a living, so I know that my life is being affected. It's usually not affected. Usually, I'm footloose and fancy free. The government, whatever. They're not really affecting me that much. Now they are. So here's what you have to do. You have to vote Republican so that the Republicans have to change over and kind of start from scratch and figure out how to control the media their way bribe everybody, get everything done before they can start screwing you. That could take a couple years. You vote the Republicans in, you might have 2 more good years. You keep this shit up. I don't know how much you got at all. And I can't remember I don't think there's really been an answer to this. I don't think there's been an answer to my question. Okay, if you're a Trumper, a lot of Trumpers out there, that's fine. It's fine. If you want to support Trump, it really doesn't bother me at all. I forgot what I was going to talk about. That was a bad one. I did good. I didn't forget about anything today. That's usually my main problem. I got it all written down today. This was my notes from last night. I was laying in bed thinking this shit. And I decided to do more of a balls to the wall deal. I don't care anymore. I'm not convincing the people that don't believe me. I don't care, so I don't care. I'm just talking, so they're not even hearing this. They can fuck off. So they're not going to hear it. They don't hear it. They don't want to listen to rational discourse. They're not hearing it. So I'm just really, it's a metaphorical fuck off. It's a metaphorical, you're a fucking moron. Nobody's here to hear it. No, but those people, the people that are still brainwashed into that, kind of cultish religion, they would never believe anything you said. And that's what makes me mad. It's not like the Hunter Biden laptop. It's not the Secretary of Health or the Admiral of Health or whatever they call her. It's not the Bud Light spokeswoman that's making me mad. It's the fact that they're making you, the average person, not you, everybody else, they're making you believe things that are obviously not even remotely true. Isn't that a new fucking thing? Isn't that a real new fucking thing? You're having to believe shit like this ridiculous. So now, and if you say the truth, you're attacked. And it's okay to attack you. I can't stomach anybody who's for that. You see, any kind of censorship, it's the First Amendment for a reason. And if you can't believe in absolute free speech, then I don't really, you don't have a leg to stand on. It's the First Amendment for a fucking reason. And there are limitations on free speech right now. You can't call people to do violence. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. There are restrictions on free speech. It's meant to protect political speech. And if you don't believe in that, they're applauding the reporters. This is irony. The reporters applauding Joe Biden saying Tucker's gone. We got rid of him. The reporters applauding another reporter getting fired. They can make you believe things that are ridiculous. Well, they got you, don't they? They got you. I'm gonna say this again. Unfortunately, this is gonna come true. Let me find it. Find my AI deal. Okay. Nobody else is saying this. Everybody's saying, there's some people, AI, it's going to be good. And some people are like, it's going to be devastating. AI could be the end of the world. AI could be the end of civilization, especially the politicians. Listen to this. Ted Lieu says, AI is amazing and has made our lives better. It can also kill us. No matter how smart AI becomes, it can never have control over nuclear weapons. And he's introduced bipartisan legislation to require a human to launch any nuclear weapon. So this is all a fucking dog and pony show. What are you even talking about AI launching nukes? Who's going to put AI in charge of nukes in the first place? Of course a human should launch a nuke. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. But they're building AI up. AI is what they're going to use to either censor you completely, because they go, well, look, it's AI, it's out there, so we got to, the horse is out of the barn. We got to really cut. We got to censor everybody. You can't do this. You can't do that. AI, or else it'll be used. You can, you can. Can you imagine? I mean, the AI, the things they can do with your image, your video, pictures. They can ruin you, and then it took him 10 years, but he finally got those AI, phony things, proven to be false, and now, well, his life was ruined. Like, you don't think the government's going to do that? So yeah, put that, mark that on your calendar. The government's going to use AI. It's not actually going to be it. They'll just say it. They'll use it in certain ways. And if they need to, they'll be going, AI's taking control. We have to shut your computer off. AI, or they could, hey, the AI shut the internet off. Oh, it was the AI. It wasn't us. It was the AI. Come on, man. All right, thanks for tuning in to I'm Right, You're Wrong. I hope you enjoyed the salty language. Because that's the way I do it. What's up, Kevin Kistner, Melanie Dutcher, Mark Hammers, Pablo Bevy, Michael Rexford, Ryan fucking McCullough. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Luis Linares. Thank you for tuning in to I'm Right, You're Wrong, so fuck off. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one.